Hey, it's time to unbox Microsoft's new Surface Pro 8. So, Microsoft introduced the new Surface Pro 8 recently, and it's more than just an update to the Surface Pro 7, which I actually have behind me. This is a sort of a redesign based on Microsoft's Surface Pro X. I haven't even opened this box. Okay. All right. That's a box. It's about a 2-pound laptop, convertible, I should say, sort of tablet laptop, because it doesn't ship with the keyboard and the pen. Which is, by the way, new. There's a completely updated pen, but the pen is based on the pen we saw with the Surface Pro X. So this is the actual device, the Surface Pro 8. Okay, let's see what else is in the box. So, Surface keyboard, Microsoft Surface Pro signature keyboard with the Slim Pen 2. So take a look at this. That is the new design, and you notice the pen is seated neatly in there, in that space there. It's got some haptic response in it, so I'm kind of excited to try it out. Here's the Slim Pen 2. Works with the Surface Pro X, 7, 8, Surface Laptop 4, Surface Laptop Studio, which is of course that brand new device they introduced along with the Surface Pro 8, and a Surface Duo 2, also new. The other thing that's inside here is the new Ocean plastic mouse. It's time to actually take this guy, the Microsoft Surface Pro 8, out of the box. Worth noting that this comes with Windows 11 pre-installed. This is a fully baked Windows 11 system. So this is a 11th generation Intel Core i 11th generation system. Because it's a tablet, it's got accelerometers, gyroscope, it's got a 1080p capable camera on the front. So it already feels a little different than the last Surface Pro. So here it is. Here's the, oh, it's starting up. I swear I didn't touch the button. I did not expect it to be starting up. Right away you can feel so the edges here they're much more rounded than the Surface Pro 7 and previous models. It's got the fully adjustable kickstand on the back, which is pretty standard. It has a removable SSD on the back. The screen is larger with smaller bezels all around.
To set up your device using a screen reader.
We'll just turn that. We'll turn the volume off there. So the screen, the PixelSense screen, is 2880 by 1920. So it's got a nice high resolution. There's a 5 megapixel camera on the front that's capable of the 1080p video for your Skype calls. There's a 10 megapixel camera on the back that you can see right there that is capable of up to 4K video. So you see there are 2 USB-C ports, right? And there is a microphone jack on the other side. And then there's, I guess, the smart ports on the bottom to connect to the keyboard. But what's not on here is the old school USB A, I guess, would be the port. The charging data port is on this side. Volume rocker is on that side. Power and sleep button is over here. But one thing that's not, used to be on your Surface Pro, on the back here was a little slot to upgrade your storage with a micro SD card. That doesn't exist, but as I said, you do have a removable SSD drive. Just opening the power adapter, which looks unchanged from previous editions. If you want a traditional USB port, there's still one on the power brick. Okay, next up we're going to open up the signature keyboard, and This has a nice little pull thing here. But there's the pen, there's the keyboard, there's the little slot that it goes in. And the way this works, so all this together, that snaps in place. And see how it hides the pen? So the pen is hidden there, so you get a sense of how it's going to work. The pen is underneath there. It's a really nice looking keyboard. Microsoft doesn't skimp on these keyboards. So, but again, this adds, the keyboard does not come with the Surface Pro 8. You have to buy it separately. So if you buy the Microsoft Surface Slim Pen 2 separately, it'll come like this in this neat little case. Nice looking. And that up. So nice how they package this. That's the Surface Slim Pen 2. And obviously the keyboard has a really nice big trackpad, and I'll use, when I'm on the road, if I'm traveling, I'll certainly use that. But I do love to use my Surface with a mouse. This is Microsoft's Ocean plastic mouse, made with 20% recycled ocean plastic. Oh wow. So that is a wireless mouse. It's really kind of cool looking, right? Windows 11 setup this is basically a setup screen in a new computer. Looks different than Windows 10. Now, I'm a huge fan of Windows Hello, and I'm glad it's supported on this device. There's in addition to the camera, there's of course an IR reader right up here. So yeah, let's register my face. Time to set up the new pen. Let's pull it out. Which hand do you write with? Right. Click to open Microsoft Whiteboard. Ooh, that worked immediately. It's already working. Adjust something nicer, right? Pretty easy, right? So I thought it might be interesting to compare the Surface Pro 7 with the new Surface Pro 8. Some pretty immediate differences that you might notice is the bezel is significantly smaller all around on the Surface Pro 8. So it's a lot thinner on the sides. It's thinner on the top, a little bit. Not a lot, but it is a little bit thinner on the top. The Surface Pro 8 is maybe a little thicker. Placement of the pencil, the Surface Pen. So we've got the Surface Pen attached magnetically to the side here of the Surface Pro 7, and within here it sits inside of there, the Surface Pro 8. I'd say the chassis might be a tiny bit larger, but it's certainly more, the 8 is more curved. So with the Surface Pro 8, lappability seems to be just as good as ever. Pretty much any angle that you need, you can flip it, take your pen out, click this. I would say it is pretty natural to just drop the pen back in here, quickly flip it. As far as how the keyboard feels good. Feels real good. I ended up finding that it's not a problem to no longer have a USB 3 port on here, or USB-A, depending on how you call it. The larger square rectangular port. You've got two USB-C Thunderbolt 4 ports that are fast enough that, for example, you could connect an external graphics card to it. But I used it to extend my desktop on an HD display. I used it with an adapter to pull some photos from an SD card onto a USB 3 reader that was plugged into an adapter. So, and having the two ports, which is something I really didn't have on the previous Surface Pro, makes a big difference, and I really liked having that. So, didn't miss the old port that much. And by the way, if you really are a big fan of old ports, you still have your 3.5mm headphone jack. On the battery side, and the battery is connected to performance, connected to your configuration, Microsoft is claiming that you can get up to 16 hours of battery life with the baseline system. Obviously, I have something above that. When I was running the Surface Pro 8 for some operations, I heard the fan spin up and it was pretty loud, especially when I had a lot of Microsoft Edge tabs open. I did not get 16 hours. I got, when I was really doing intensely with all those browser windows open, using Word, in Photoshop, I got more like 7 or 8 hours. So, 16 hours is going to be probably, if you're just viewing video, you're certainly not trying to game or anything like that. So I think that that's something that, again, what someone claims and what you get really depends on all those other factors, configuration and your activities. The screen is capable of 120 Hz refresh rate, but it is hard with the naked eye to tell the difference between it and 60 Hz. Do I recommend Microsoft Surface Pro 8? Yes, it's still a great 2-in-1 productivity system. It's fantastic on the desktop. It's still great on my lap. It's a great drawing platform. It's a beautiful screen, great performance. I think that the battery life is good. Certainly 6 or 7 hours of really intense work is great. I know you get more if you do something that's more lightweight. I don't mind that it's slightly heavier and slightly thicker than the last one. Barely notice it. Keyboard, worth the extra price. It's excellent as always. Slim Pen 2, feels great to draw with. It's a really nice ergonomic design. All in all, a great package. Probably going to run you close to, with my package, which was the Core i7, the 256 gigabytes of storage, 16 gigabytes of RAM, and the pen and keyboard. You're going to run around $1,900. So, you're making an investment, but for a system that is going to be powerful enough and flexible enough to get your work done and your play as well. Thanks for watching. Remember to rate, review, and subscribe.